Welcome home. I'm Tamara Alicia, your host, and this is Soul Drops, a podcast dedicated to the expansion of the heart, mind, and soul, a safe place for reflection, healing, and self-understanding. Take a deep breath with me, and let's begin. Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome back to Soul Drops. I am your host, Tamara Alicia. And today is going to be a little bit of a short episode, but also an impactful episode. Today, we are going to be talking about something that I do often, but I never considered talking about it as an episode before because it's kind of a routine for me. So I never thought that it would be helpful to other people, but I think it may be. So, the topic that I wanted to discuss today is spiritual hygiene. So, I know that we're all accustomed to normal hygiene, right? For our physical bodies. We brush our teeth, we wash our faces, we shower, um, we smell good. Um, well, our spiritual body, our energetic body also needs that same type of care, maybe even more so because our bodies are very sensitive to energy, right? So let's discuss a little bit about what spiritual hygiene actually is. So I'm going to start off with an example first, and then I will kind of define it more. So I think the best example of spiritual hygiene in terms of understanding why it's important is, let's say you are at a birthday party. And this birthday party isn't necessarily for a close friend, but it's for like a friend of a friend. And there were loads of people there. I'm talking about the party. The birthday party was massive. Let's say it's a all giant hotel party, about 200 people. You got DJs, you got alcohol, you got loud noise, you got like so many things that are happening at this party. So many different people, so many different personality types, and just like it's a lot that's happening, and you're having a good time, but you also feel exhausted from the sheer amount of people that are at this party. That would be a perfect time and a perfect example of why spiritual hygiene is important. All of that energy that you're getting from all of those people that you're around, all of the different type of energy that you're getting, right? So maybe you are having a great time, but you also feel drained, right? You also feel extremely tired, even if you're not sleepy. It's just this feeling of like, ugh, like all the energy is being drained from me. I'm not sleepy, but I just feel so tired. Like that is a prime example of when the spiritual hygiene is important. It's kind of like, imagine you're in a room with a bunch of sick people and everyone is coughing. You're gonna put on a mask. Most likely, you're gonna put on a mask because it makes you feel like, okay, I know I'm still surrounded by people that are coughing and the germs are still in the air, but at least I'm not directly breathing them in, right? So in that case, we are protecting ourselves from the germs. But in a energetic sense, we are not protecting ourselves at that birthday party because we are just kind of open to all of the, let's say, energetic germs that are around us, right? And that are impacting our emotional, spiritual, and even our subconscious body. So spiritual hygiene is simply just taking care of your energetic body. So making sure that when you are interacting with people, when you're scrolling through social media, when you are in public spaces, when you are listening to others, especially music, um, or just interacting with people in general, that we aren't just moving through the world in a way where we are absorbing everything. We have to have a hygiene practice, and we also have to have a way of having our own types of protection as well. Like I use the example with, if you're going into a room that has a room full of sick people, you put on a mask so that you're not absorbing all of those germs, right? But there is a way to do that as well when you're going into a big public space, let's say, and you want to kind of make sure that your energy is protected and that you're not just out there flapping in the wind to the world. And one of the things that I've personally noticed, and that I always kind of have as like a telltale sign when it's time to really come back to myself and focus on my energy is when I feel moody or anxious or ungrounded, but I don't have a reason why. It's just this feeling that I get. So let's say, for instance, that I was at home and I was perfectly fine, or I was with a friend and I was perfectly fine. And then, I don't know, 5 minutes later, all of a sudden, maybe a person comes around, maybe I go to a new place, maybe I hear a song, whatever it was, it makes me feel on edge or moody or anxious or whatever the case is. That is how I know, like, okay, Myra, something is off. Something is not right. It's time for you to scan yourself, scan your energy and see exactly what's going on. And I will talk about that in a little bit because that is a practice that I do often that helps me identify any blockages in my spiritual body. And I know a lot of times we think of self care because spiritual hygiene is a form of self care as something that has to be extravagant sometimes, right? So, oh, I need to go out and buy all of these products to have like a spa day, or I need to go to the actual spa, or I need to get my nails done or hair done, or buy, I don't know, something that you don't need to purchase in order to care for yourself. Because caring for yourself is pretty much just a form of showing yourself that you love yourself and also just a form of self-respect, honestly. So, some people have certain signs and triggers that they look out for when they need an energy cleanse. Some of the typical signs could be things like feeling tired even though you slept for like 8 or 10 hours, but you just feel exhausted when you wake up. Feeling heavy or emotionally cluttered. Um, you just feel completely out of sorts. Also, when you feel like being around certain people puts you in a negative mood or makes you feel stressed, or instantly when you come around this person, you don't feel like yourself. You feel bothered. You feel like there's something wrong, something going on. Something is off and disconnected in your body. And also, you may become easily triggered or overwhelmed. I notice that these are definitely some of the signs that our spirit gives us in our energetic body. It's just like, oh, hey, time to check in, time to see what's going on. So now I'm going to talk a little bit about like my personal routine and what I do when I am aware that something feels off in my body. So, first off, the first step is awareness. You have to be aware, you have to be in tune with yourself. And if you are not in tune with yourself right now, that's okay. Everybody gets there when they need to get there. But I would suggest journaling. That's one surefire way of getting in touch with yourself. And I don't necessarily mean journaling to a prompt either. I find that when we freestyle journal, meaning you don't know what you're going to be talking about, literally, you just start writing. And then as you're writing, more things just pour out. Whatever needs to be said on the paper is said on the paper, and so on and so forth. And also, another great way of checking in with yourself is doing something called a body scan. So with a body scan, what I like to do is I will sit in a place that's nice and quiet. I don't have to worry about anyone interrupting me or disturbing me. And you can find that place anywhere. That place could be outside or on your porch, on your patio. It could be hiding away in your bedroom or in your bathroom or even in your car if that's the only place that, you can get to and it's quiet and you can be alone. But once you get to that place, what I do and what I want you to try, if you're up to it, is I want you to sit down and I want you to close your eyes. I want you to count backwards from 10. And with each count back, I want you to take a deep breath. Breathe in and push the breath out. And I want you to push the breath out until you feel as though the oxygen just, you can't breathe out anymore. The oxygen is pressed out of your body. And as you keep going back, I want you to start to scan from the top of your head. So that scan could look like anything that you visualize. For me, it's always a color that I visualize. And I visualize this color starting from the top of my head and it goes down over my body, very slowly scanning each part. And what I'll notice is that if I am experiencing any blockages or anything where my energy feels off, I notice that it'll kind of like this ring of color that I'm using to scan my body will pause. It'll stop in this place and it's almost like it kind of gets stuck or it doesn't feel like it's flowing, if that makes any sense. And when I notice that, when I get to that spot where I feel like it isn't flowing, I imagine that spot or that area as a knot. And this particular knot may take long to unravel. It may be very quick to unravel, but either way, I take my time and I take out this knot. And when I take out this knot, I visualize the knot being smoothed down, and then I keep doing this body scan on my body. This has been one of my practices for quite some time to just run a full check over my body. Another practice that I do that helps me a lot is standing directly under the water. So when I get in the shower, I'll stand with my head underneath the faucet. And if my energy feels off, I will imagine my just anything that feels triggering or off in my body, I will imagine it almost like it's oozing out of my skin, oozing from the crown of my head, going down my body, going down the drain, and it's gone. And then what I do afterwards to replace and replenish that energy is I think about all of the things that I'm grateful for, all of the people in my life, all of just everything, nature, art, all of the things that I love. And I notice that I feel so happy and I'm like smiling in the shower and I feel so invigorated and excited about life and also extremely grateful that I get to live life. And that's just one of the things that I do to help me. Other options are also something called spiritual baths. Spiritual bath are is the process of cleansing your body through water, through some type of bath. Some people take spiritual showers if they don't have access to a tub. But even if you don't have access to a tub or shower, this can still be done even if you have a bowl of water and you just are able to dump it over your head. But you set intention when you get into this water. Some people do Epsom salts, some people do essential oils or rose petals or certain types of protective herbs or whatever it is that you feel called. Some people even put crystals in their water. Whatever it is that you feel called to do, then that's what you do. Whatever feels healing to you, that is what you do. And then you get inside that tub and you set intention and you set intention for any energy that is not of your highest and greatest good to just be released. And make sure that when you first get into the tub or the shower, if you had a long sweaty day, just take a shower first and then do the cleansing bath because this isn't a physical cleansing bath. This is a spiritual cleansing bath. So when we get in there, y'all, we already want to be squeaky clean. Um, so this is also a great water related um, process that you can do to cleanse your energy. Another cleansing energy is with smoke. So you can use smoke from sage, smoke from incense to cleanse your body. Um, or you can do some sort of meditation that also does cleansing in combination with sound. And that is another thing that also helps a lot tremendously. If you are feeling emotionally imbalanced, sound helps a lot with that. So I know that this was definitely a very, very different episode than what I normally talked about, but for some reason, I just felt called to talk about this. Even if it was a shorter episode, I definitely felt called to talk about this. I don't know if it's someone out there that is listening that feels like something is off, but they just can't put their finger on it or they just don't know what to do. So if that is you and you are listening, I hope that this is helpful. And I also would like to know if you all want more practical podcast episodes like this. I mean, this is practical for me, maybe not for everybody else, but if you all would like more episodes like this, or if you prefer short content or long form content, because I know that I can make these episodes a little long sometimes, but I'm very, very, very curious just to see what your thoughts are. And I'll probably attach a poll to this episode just to get a little bit of feedback. So just let me know what you think. Now, I know that sometimes people will listen to the things that I say, especially people that are kind of just coming into their spiritual awakening or are just really curious, in general. Maybe you're not necessarily a believer, right? But you're just curious. And so you're kind of just poking around a bit. But you don't have to be a healer or a mystic or anything like that in order to take care of your energy. Anyone can do it. You're alive, you have a soul. If you want to feel more calm, if you want to feel more connected with yourself, if you want to feel more clear in your mind and your thinking, I would definitely, consider doing this and just ask yourself, like, what do you feel like you need to clear today? So if you are having any not so great thoughts, if you feel a little chaotic, if you feel a little anxious or stressed, and I know that is very much the vibe with everything that is going on. And I know I've said that more than one time, but every day it seems like it's something new. And also question what energy are you feeling that may not even be yours? Because a lot of times we pick up other people's energy and sometimes don't even realize it. And try and think about when you feel this way. First, you have to be aware that you're feeling this way. But when you are aware that you feel this way, I want you to think of one thing. I don't care if that's just deep breaths. I don't care if that's just washing your face with cold water and visualizing whatever it is that you need to visualize that cold water removing. And how do you like come back to yourself when you feel like that? Even if it's just for 3 to 5 minutes, I want you to practice that. Try and practice meditation, maybe 2 or 3 times a week, and see if it has a difference on the quality of how you're feeling, how you're holding your energy, even on the awareness of your own energy. I think that you will see a difference, especially if you make it part of your practice. I know for me, it definitely caused a major shift in my life. It's so beautiful how just doing something so minimal, so quick, 5 minutes every day can definitely cause a major change in your life. I remember when I wasn't able to even slow down my mind to meditate for 2 minutes. Now I can meditate for 40 minutes and it feels like 2 minutes. So, if today's episode felt like you needed this, if today's episode felt like it was just a reminder to check in with yourself, then I would highly advise you to just follow some of these steps or however you want to incorporate them. If you feel the call to go deeper, if you want to learn more, if you feel as though you have some energy that is blocked or is no longer serving you, or you feel stuck in your life, like emotionally, spiritually, energetically, I am currently accepting new clients. So I would love to be able to help you, to be able to work with you, accomplish your goals, wherever they are. Please feel free to book a one on one session with me. I will put the link directly in the show notes. And you can go on and book a free 30-minute discovery with me. We can talk about what you would like to accomplish, what your goals are, how I can help you along the way. In the meantime, thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of Soul Drugs. I'm your host, Tamara Alicia, and I'll talk to you on Sunday.